guys, so welcome back. Yes, I decided to just continue with the video since I had time, my baby is sleeping. So in this video I will mainly be talking about the MacDonald stage and some of the symptoms I had during pregnancy, because after the MacDonald stage was inserted, that's when pregnancy really started for me, because during this previous period it was mostly just a period where I didn't know what was happening. So I have the consultation with the doctor. The doctor is like, come tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to insert your McDonald's. I was trying to check in the clinic book. You're given a clinic book, by the way, where the doctor writes notes. Basically, during your clinic visits. But I was trying to check it and can't read anything. So after the consultation, I went the next day, and I didn't eat anything. I ate breakfast, if I'm not so wrong, early in the morning, and then after that, I went to the hospital. So this procedure is a one-day procedure, meaning that it's done in the morning and you can go home in the evening. You don't have to spend some time in the hospital, probably when complications occur, but it's just a one-day procedure generally. So basically what happened was I changed my attire to the hospital gown, and this procedure is done in a procedural room. It's not done in theater. No, okay, in my situation it wasn't done in theater. It was done in a procedural room, and basically I sat on a chair. So in this chair you sit and you put your legs as wide as the doctor will tell you to. After that, he told me to lie on my back, and he put a septum inside my vagina so that he can have full access to my cervix. So the septum was inserted and it was opened, but until to a place where he had access to my cervix, because the MacDonald stitch is put here on the cervix to close it. And after it was as wide as he could have full access. I was given a sedative, and I basically just went to another world during the whole procedure. I do not know exactly what happens during the procedure because, as I mentioned, I was asleep. But I don't know how long it takes. I don't know how long it takes. But after that, I woke up still on that chair, and there was a nurse, and my mom was present, and I was disoriented, kinda. But what I remember is that I was really pressed by way number 2. Yeah. I really wanted to go for my number 2, but the nurse was pretty worried because after that procedure, you literally supposed to just be in a state of rest. So I was so pressed, but I went to the loo and I got it out and I was okay. So after that, I just stayed in bed, basically just chilling and waiting to see if anything will happen, because you see they've done something to the cervix and that can trigger a contraction or anything. But I just basically stayed there. My appetite was just terrible during that time, so I didn't have anything. We stayed there. Then after that, now I went home. So after that, I continued with my daily activities. But this time I was in school. So I remember this one time, I just woke up. Okay, so let me just give you an idea of what symptoms I had. So during my pregnancy, one thing that was very, very vibrant was my headaches. Guys, I had a lot of headaches. Yani, I don't know why. The doctor told me it was because of hormones, but it was one of those headaches where you had to take something. Like you can't sleep and it will be over. No, you can't even sleep because it is so painful. I don't know, but he told me it was because of the hormones. Let me give you a story. So this time, at school, so I wake up early in the morning and I felt wild cramps. Like it wasn't even cramps. I felt there was so much pain around that area below my tummy. It was so painful, guys. The pain was actually going to the back. So I went to the doctor, my gyna, and after checking and all that, he told me that there was some contractions. Like you see the procedure we did, inserting the MacDonald. Yes, it closes, but that procedure of that situation where it can open and contractions happen so that and then you can have a miscarriage, that was not gotten rid of. Like that thing can still happen. So what was happening is that was actually what was happening. I was having minor contractions because the cervix, I hadn't really gotten the memo that it's closed. So yeah, it wanted to get rid of the fetus. But when I went to the doctor, he injected some drug and he wrote for me some medicines that I should take when that happens and for a certain period of time. And also I was taking hormones, some hormone that would prevent any contraction from happening. He just told me when you have those pains, because they might happen again, you can just come and inject you with a certain drug and also be taking, I was taking now those hormones and the drugs to prevent contractions. I won't mention them here because they should be prescribed by your doctor. After this scare, that's when the doctor told me that I should take things slow. He told me that I should be on bed rest. I was so anxious that I just stopped. I just got out of school. I discontinued, and I just stayed at home. And because of that, I had major anxiety, major obsessive thoughts, major it was terrible. And I think I went into the first stage of depression during pregnancy. I didn't have a source of income, so I was depressed. I was stressed about a lot of things, and I would just stay in my room, stay at home, just basically eating and all that. And I didn't enjoy pregnancy as I should have. And yeah, that's the one thing that I really feel bad, because I would have loved to have enjoyed pregnancy. Um, yeah. So the symptoms that I had during pregnancy were the headaches. Yeah, the headaches that I've mentioned, and those ones were terrible. I had weight gain. I remember when I was around 38 weeks pregnant, I was 101 kgs. I write in 1 kgs. I was so heavy. I would get heartburn a lot, and it would get triggered by certain foods. Basically, my appetite was mostly stress eating and all that. One thing that I remember that was very painful was that you see the area above your tummy and between your breast area, that area. As the pregnancy got older, that area would be so painful. I think that I don't know if that would be another stage of heartburn. But one thing about pregnancy that you really enjoy are the baby kicks, when the baby kicks, and those are very magical moments. And that time, even if your mind is just, I don't know where, you just smile and you're happy and you know that this little human is growing well and you're doing enough. So another thing that in pregnancy is that when my baby wouldn't move or kick, I would rush to the clinic nearby so that they could listen and hear if he's okay. That's another anxiety that I've seen that people get. Yeah, when your baby goes a whole day, but that can also be I don't know, guys. Anxiety and pregnancy. I honestly didn't know how to handle it because me, I was in it and I didn't work on it. I would respond to it literally. Like I'd have thoughts, and I remember this one time I went for the anatomy scan where it's basically you go get a scan and they check the baby's head, how it's developing, the spine, the arms, the limbs, basically everything. This is where you get to know the gender. And I remember we went to go get the scan. And when I went there, the ladies there were so busy. There were so many people, so they would just check you well and give you the report so that you can take to your doctor. And I remember I got so anxious after that visit. That night I did not sleep because in my head I just knew they had missed something. Like I just sat there and the whole night, Google in one hand and the papers in one hand. I would just refer. I would just check the scan, the video because I had a video taken, and I would check the video, check the scan, check if there's any issue, and that was just terrible. I remember that night I had the worst headache because of that obsessiveness. So every time I would go for a scan, my mom would just take the scans and hide them in her room because with every scan I would do that, and that was mad. But after that, pregnancy was pretty great with the funny cravings that I had. I had the funny craving of paper, like like a paper like this, a full scarf. This were my cravings while I was pregnant. This is what I was craving for while I was pregnant. And another thing that I was craving for was imaji ya kufua, the washing water. They used to nilikuwa nasikia inanukia tu vizuri. Like I just want to sip it in a glass and just, oh my god, that was the one craving. And then another craving was the dishwashing soap, the liquid soap. Like I just squeeze it. And the guys, that those are my main cravings. And in terms of food, I'd be craving the ugali grade 2. I think it's grade 2. Yeah, ugali grade 2, the one for kisiagi, the one which is not the one in the supermarket, the other one in the kisiagi. That's the one I'd eat it. Like it got to an extent where I'd take the ugali, put it in some salt, and eat it. But then I just saw no, that's dangerous and all that. So I would take when I was cooking ugali, I would add salt while cooking. That sounds so weird. Yeah, like the way you add salt to food. Now me I'd add salt to my ugali. So yeah, so basically that was my craving, and another craving was white rice. Yeah, basically white rice. I would white rice until now it's still there. I get major cravings for white rice. Yeah, those were my main cravings. My water intake wasn't that wonderful. Well, it was wonderful, but now I'd crave um water from the fridge. This other water, Miss me didn't want to hear anything about it. And basically, during pregnancy you get this. Me, by the during pregnancy I was so hot. So I guess that's why I would prefer fridge water. So me, I'd want only ile nimekuwa mawe in a melt, literally, because I would be so hot, guys. Hot hot to the extent you're not even wearing anything, but you're sweating. You just feel so hot. I used to wake up at night, just sit down, and it's like you're from running a marathon, so you just sit down to relax. And finding a sleeping position was a hassle. All these things, they just happen to you, but then after, you're just like, they are worth it, because the baby that comes out is just wonderful. So yeah, so these are the main things that um I experienced during pregnancy. So now we get to the ending of the pregnancy. So here, the removal now of the MacDonald stitch. So the MacDonald stitch is supposed to be removed some weeks before you give birth. Because if you get contractions, now the main contractions, one thing that happens is that it ruptures the cervix, and that now is a whole other story. So I remember during pregnancy, I think I was around 34, 35 weeks, I started experiencing major pain. And during pregnancy, I think I had one or two visits where I would have the mini contractions. So during this time, it was major. Even when they injected me the drug that the doctor would inject me, nothing happened. The contraction, the pain was still there. So, and guys, I also want to mention during pregnancy, I had also an infection. And I think what happened is we didn't test after. So I don't know. During this time, the pain, the doctor suspected it would either be an infection or in contractions. So he just decided that I should get some steroid injections, so that when if the baby comes out earlier than 38 weeks, 38 weeks, the lungs and the major organs will be developed. Yeah, the MacDonald stitch removed. On the day of the removal, now this is where the drama comes in. As I told you, when they're putting the MacDonald stitch, they give you a sedative, you're asleep, the whole procedure. Now, during the removal, you feel everything. There's no drug. And I had read this because during pregnancy, I was in a pregnancy group. I was in a group of pregnant women in Facebook, and this group really helped me. Guys, you'd feel something and you'd check in the group or ask in the group, and you'd get so many responses. And it's not zero response at Google or the response from various apps. No, it's just one-on-one groups, like responses. Like someone tells you, this is how I felt, and this is what I did, and this, you get that. And it's just that raw response from someone, and that was amazing. Like that group really helped me. Even when I say I had the anxiety and all that, guys, I'd see these things with other women, and then you're like, some things you just think of them, and then you think maybe I'm going mad. At this point, they think I'm going mad. But when you check in that group, you just see someone feeling the same thing, thinking the same thing, and you're just like, wow, thank you. Like you just feel at home. That group was honestly at home, and if you would want this, I would suggest you join groups. Okay, the groups are usually like pregnancy moms due in maybe June, July 2021, maybe due December 2021. I'd suggest you join those ones, because those ones you go you wouldn't miss at least 10 women that you're in the same number of weeks, that they're in the same weeks as you. Like those, you get women who are literally experiencing the same things as you, because every trimester, every week has its own experience, has its own something. So in this group, I would see women who had the MacDonald stage. So I knew that during the removal, I wouldn't get a sedative. But now the difference comes here. There are three types of people. There are people who will feel the pain 3D, 8D, 10D. There are people who will say just felt like a pinch. And there's others who will tell you it was nothing. Like I felt nothing. Just maybe in the start and nothing. But me, I'm in this first category of feeling things 3D. So mi nilikuwa najicategorize na hawa wasewa hapa like just a little bit painful. So I would see people who would say that they would rush out of the room. Some would say that they will just lie there until you're like, oh, it's over. Like I didn't feel anything. So me, I went during that day. I laid on the table just at the beginning. He put the septum again to open the vagina. Hey guys, that is where the pain started. Me do not even know what was happening. Guys, it was so painful. The other guys I want to mention, when I had the MacDonald seat, there wasn't anything different mainly. Like I wouldn't say I felt different. I felt it. No, you don't even feel it actually. You don't at all. At all. So yeah, so I laid on the table and he put the septum and then he opened it and then now the drama began. The drama began when we were here, not even here. Hey, guys, I don't know. Me, I felt pain, so much pain. Like this, I think this was the rehearsal to the bath. Like so painful for me. But I'm saying for others, it's different. Some would say it was a pain, some would say it wasn't nothing. But guys, me, I screamed. From the starting of the procedure to the end, I was screaming. Because guys, it was so painful. Me felt pain. And then another thing was that my cervix had I don't know how to explain this, but the stitch wasn't as visible as it was put in. My cervix had it had been covered or something. I don't know. It's something that happens. So that had happened. So it was now retrieving and to see where the stitch is, and then now cutting this, like pulling. They were literally pulling the cervix so that it was so painful. I've been such pain. Like it was so painful. So now you can literally feel them pulling the cervix so that he can be able to see where the stitch is and be able to remove it. And hey, me screamed. I don't know, if you'd asked me, I would have told you that procedure took like 3 hours. But I think in real sense, it took like 30 minutes or 40. I think if it went sana, it took an hour. But me, if you'd asked me, it took 3 hours because my hey, I was screaming. It was so painful. So after that, I went to the ward because now during the removal, they take special care of you because there is a possibility that you can have contraction because of that whole whatever is happening. Because now you know I'm also moving. It's not like I'm so still. And so I stayed there, but what I really experienced was just spotting, just minor bleeding. But he told me that that was normal because of the procedure of the removal and all that. So after that, I went home and I stayed for a couple of weeks. Now, during these weeks, what happened was I would take long walks because staying very active during pregnancy, it prepares you for that time of giving birth. So here I was allowed, I would go for long walks. I would go for long walks, and I think that played a big role by the in me giving birth. So now I was around 39 weeks. So the doctor was like So you're not getting any contractions, you're not getting, but by the guys, I didn't mention when the MacDonald stitch was removed, my cervix basically just opened. It was 3 centimeters, like during that whole time. But and then after the removal by the guys, I went for the injections, which I'd go for them during the morning and during the evening for I think 2 days or 3. I don't remember the number of days. But yeah, they were done on my back area, upper, like between my, yeah, the upper, up just a little bit above my glutes, around there. So yeah, I got those stitches, and now I would, yeah. So after that, now we go to that 39 weeks, and the doctor is like, so now you're not getting any contractions, you're still 3 centimeters, and now I think he just told me that to just go home and we'll see if there would be any contraction, and if after a week now, if there is no activity, then we'd have to induce. So I went home, tarara, tarara. Then during the time he told me, there was still nothing. I think this time I was around 40 weeks and some days, going to 41 weeks. And when I went, it was like, so now we have to induce. So I'll see you in the next video. Now we will talk about the giving birth. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy this pregnancy series, as I'm enjoying telling you what happened, what I can actually remember, because this was 2 years ago, 2 years and more actually. But thank you so much for watching this, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to follow me on my social media, don't forget to comment, tell me if you've ever heard of the MacDonald stitch, tell me how pregnancy was for you, tell me what you think pregnancy is all about in the comment section. Don't be afraid to DM me on anything that you'd like for me to talk about during pregnancy, or any questions, anything, guys. Yeah, guys.